Have you ever wondered how some people thrive well into their 80s, living independently and joyfully? Join us as we explore Grandal's remarkable approach to aging. Watch until the end to uncover her secrets to a fulfilling and vibrant life, and learn how you can embrace a similar path to happiness and self-reliance. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. In the secular world, reaching the age of 80 is often regarded as a significant milestone, sometimes even seen as a turning point in one's life. There's a prevailing belief that once this threshold is crossed, an individual's capacity for self-care diminishes substantially, and they inevitably need to depend on others for their daily needs. This view holds that aging brings a natural decline in independence, making reliance on family members or caregivers almost a given. However, Grandal, a remarkable 80-year-old woman with a profound and unconventional outlook on life, defies this conventional wisdom with her unique life philosophy. Grandal challenges the notion that age must define one's capacity for self-sufficiency. Despite being in her 8th decade, she staunchly maintains that age is merely a number and does not dictate one's ability to live independently. She continues to reside alone, choosing to embrace the autonomy and self-determination that come with it. Her decision to live alone is not born out of necessity, but from a place of personal contentment and independence. Grandal has received numerous invitations from her children, who out of love and concern have urged her to move in with them so she could enjoy the comforts and companionship of family life. Yet, she has consistently and graciously declined these offers. With a warm and knowing smile, she explains, "I'm doing quite well on my own. There's no need to trouble my children. Living alone in my old age brings me the greatest happiness and stability. There's no other way of aging that compares to this level of freedom and independence." Grandal firmly believes that a fulfilling and joyful old age does not necessarily hinge on the presence or support of one's children. Instead, she asserts that the quality of one's later years should be governed by personal choices and self-management. Her daily life is characterized by a serene tranquility as she lives at her own pace, free from the need to accommodate others' routines and expectations. For Grandal, this self-reliance is not just a practical arrangement, but a profound source of joy and satisfaction, exemplifying that the essence of a happy old age lies in embracing one's freedom and living life on one's terms. Her relentless pursuit of independence is not merely a testament to her capabilities, but also a profound affirmation of life's inherent dignity. She is resolute in her commitment to living independently until the very end, viewing the ability to control her existence as the ultimate source of happiness and fulfillment. Grandal articulates her vitality with pride, stating, "Look at me. I'm 80 years old, yet my hearing remains as acute as it was in my youth. My eyesight is still sharp, and I walk with a bounce in my step. If I didn't mention my age, people would likely assume I'm just over 60. I'm brimming with energy." Since the passing of her husband a decade ago, her children have grown increasingly concerned for her well-being. They constantly urge her to move in with them, expressing fears that she might have an accident while alone at home or face a health crisis without their immediate presence. Despite their well-meaning suggestions, Grandal remains steadfast in her decision to live on her own. She values her children's concerns but is adamant about not moving in with them. Why? "First and foremost, I cherish my freedom and relish living life on my terms. I have no desire to be constrained by the routines and habits of my children's households. In their homes, there are areas where I am restricted from moving or touching things, which I find intolerable. Furthermore, I am deeply reluctant to become a burden to my children. They have their own lives to lead, and even though they might not voice it, my presence could disrupt their peaceful existence, especially considering their spouses might not appreciate having an elderly person in the house." Grandal's determination to remain independent reflects not only her strength but also a profound respect for her autonomy and the importance of maintaining her sense of self and freedom as she navigates her later years. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. I can understand that perspective. It reminds me of a bowl of soup. If you get too close, it burns your mouth. But if you stay too far, it cools off and loses its appeal. Similarly, when it comes to living with children, different habits and viewpoints are bound to cause friction. Such disagreements can disturb the harmony of daily life, which is something I wish to avoid. After careful consideration, she concluded that living alone was the most comfortable option for her. Moving into a nursing home is out of the question. She finds the multitude of rules and regulations too restrictive for her taste. She has grown accustomed to a life of freedom and flexibility, and the thought of adhering to strict guidelines is unappealing. The idea of hiring a caretaker also does not sit well with her. The cost is prohibitively high, and she feels that her pension should be reserved for her own needs, not for paying someone else. Her children, too, have their own set of pressures and responsibilities, and she does not want to add to their burdens. Therefore, she has decided to rely on herself in her later years. As long as she maintains her health and remains capable of taking care of herself, she believes she can continue to live contentedly in her own space, her little sanctuary, well into old age. She has come to appreciate that life is most fulfilling when living independently. To ensure she remains in good health, she has devoted considerable effort and conducted extensive research. She even partnered with like-minded friends to visit renowned longevity villages, curious to learn from those who have reached advanced ages. What she discovered was remarkable. These elderly individuals, regardless of their years, share a common trait: they refuse to be idle. Whether tending to their fields or organizing their homes, they are always active. They do not expect others to cater to them simply because of their age. They are determined to do what they can for themselves. This spirit of self-reliance and independence is truly inspiring and something she aspires to embody in her own life. Examining the lives of these elderly individuals who enjoy remarkable health and longevity reveals a common thread: each of them possesses a determined, cheerful, and optimistic disposition. Despite not always having material wealth or abundant resources, they manage to infuse every day with fulfillment and joy. Their secret to a long life seems to lie in their commitment to eating well, getting adequate sleep, and maintaining a positive outlook. These habits are the cornerstones of their enduring vitality. Observing these elders has given Grandale a valuable perspective on her future. In the past, she would often become fixated on minor issues, allowing small inconveniences to upset her for extended periods. However, inspired by the example of these long-lived individuals, Grandale has transformed her approach to life. She now strives to maintain a cheerful demeanor every day, and as a result, her physical well-being has naturally improved. In contrast, when she looks at some of her peers who struggle with health issues, she is struck by the concerning lifestyle habits they exhibit. Many of them lead irregular lives, characterized by erratic eating and sleeping patterns, infrequent exercise, and overall poor habits. These factors have contributed to a significant decline in their health, leaving them unable to live independently by the time they reach their 70s or 80s. The prospect of becoming reliant on others for basic needs is something Grandale finds deeply unsettling. She firmly believes in the principle that the body operates on a use-it-or-lose-it basis. If one neglects regular exercise and a healthy lifestyle for an extended period, the body gradually loses its vitality, leading to a decline in overall health. For many years, regardless of the weather, whether it was cold or sweltering heat, Grandale has remained committed to her exercise regimen. Even amid wind and rain, she resolutely steps outside to engage in physical activity and experience the world around her. She has never permitted herself to remain indoors and squander her health. Her dedication to staying active is unwavering. Not only does she maintain a daily exercise routine, but she also frequently embarks on group trips, which often involve navigating challenging terrains and steep inclines. When faced with these demanding paths, Grandale steadfastly insists on managing them on her own, even if others offer assistance. She believes that accepting help could lead to complacency, diminishing her drive to maintain a disciplined lifestyle and potentially compromising her independence. To her, the risk of becoming reliant on others is a threat to her ability to sustain a rigorous standard of self-care. Grandal's primary aim is to preserve her health and enjoy a long and fulfilling life. She harbors no fear of death itself, rather, she fears the prospect of losing her autonomy. Her greatest wish is to pass away peacefully and without illness, ideally slipping away in her sleep, which she would consider the perfect end to a well-lived life. Contrary to the perception that an 80-year-old living alone must be leading a sorrowful existence, Grandal's experience highlights a profound truth: if an elderly person can manage to live independently, it is, in fact, a significant source of happiness. In her view, maintaining good health is paramount in old age. A healthy body enables a person to enjoy a serene and joyful later life. Living free from illness and pain is what brings true contentment to the elderly. Grandal's perspective underscores the importance of health in achieving a happy and peaceful old age, reflecting a sentiment that resonates deeply with her values and experiences. Don't you agree with her insights? Grandma shares with a warm smile, "I'm in excellent health and maintain a very positive outlook on life. My happiness index in old age is remarkably high. And living alone has not diminished my quality of life in the slightest. The secret to my enduring contentment over the past 20 years of living independently lies in 3 key principles. Firstly, as people age, it's important to embrace a bit of self-centeredness. Children have their own lives and blessings. It's crucial not to become a burden to them. During my husband's lifetime, our combined pensions totaled around 7,000 to 8,000 yuan a month. He was exceptionally adept at managing our finances and household, ensuring that our home was well maintained without compromising our quality of life. Despite this, we managed to provide our son and daughter-in-law with an additional 2,000 yuan each month. When my son and daughter-in-law got married, they purchased a spacious house of over 100 square meters, which came with a hefty monthly mortgage exceeding 6,000 yuan. Although their combined monthly income was more than 10,000 yuan, the financial pressures of raising a child and covering numerous living expenses weighed heavily on them. My husband, understanding their situation, decided to offer them 2,000 yuan each month voluntarily, helping to alleviate some of their financial stress. These thoughtful gestures were part of the reason why my husband and I could live comfortably while still supporting our family. It's this blend of maintaining my independence and helping others when possible that has enabled me to live a fulfilling and happy life on my own. After my husband passed away, I had a candid conversation with my son and daughter-in-law. I explained that with his absence, our household income had been reduced by one source, and as a result, I could no longer afford to send them the 2,000 yuan each month that I had previously provided. They responded with great understanding and compassion. They reassured me that they no longer needed my financial support and encouraged me to focus on my well-being, assuring me that I should reach out to them if I encountered any difficulties. From that point on, I ceased providing them with any further financial assistance. While I was able to help them when circumstances allowed, I could not continue doing so now that my resources were more limited. It wouldn't be wise to pretend I had more money than I did. Such pretense could lead to harm for both myself and others. In my view, if an elderly person cannot assist their children, the best course of action is to avoid adding to their burdens. Continuing to send my son 2,000 yuan each month would certainly impact my living standards. My financial resources are finite, and if I persisted in giving away this amount, it would leave me with less for my expenses, potentially compromising my nutrition and overall health. If my health were to decline as a result, it would, in turn, affect my son's ability to work effectively and care for me. This scenario could inadvertently become a burden to him, which I deeply wish to avoid. Therefore, I am firmly convinced that maintaining my health and not adding to my children's responsibilities is the most prudent approach for elderly individuals. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. After careful consideration, I devised a budget plan for my 4,500 yuan pension. I divided it into 3 categories: one portion for daily food and essential expenses, another for various living costs, and the final portion for savings. This arrangement ensures that I live comfortably, have peace of mind, and do not create any additional worries for my children. They are aware that I am managing my affairs well, which allows them to focus on their own lives without concern for my financial situation. I firmly believe that maintaining clear boundaries and a healthy level of self-interest is crucial for people of all ages. This principle is particularly important for the elderly. Without a sense of personal agency and the ability to prioritize their own needs and desires, older adults may find themselves living with a persistent sense of dissatisfaction and discomfort. Elderly individuals need to advocate for themselves to ensure that their lives are not dictated solely by external pressures or the expectations of others. Equally important is the need to respect the boundaries of our children and avoid excessive interference in their lives. Reflecting on my own experiences, I recall how, in my youth, my mother's constant advice and nagging often felt like a burden. Her well-intentioned guidance sometimes overshadowed my sense of autonomy and independence. As I grew older and became a mother myself, I frequently found myself recounting and even criticizing the ways my mother's interventions had affected me. Now, in my later years, I find that my children, in their desire to care for me, sometimes exhibit a level of consideration that can be overwhelming. The constant attention, while well-meaning, can be tiring and intrusive. To avoid becoming a burden, and to preserve my sense of freedom and self-direction, I have chosen to live my old age on my terms. This approach allows my children to live their lives freely, without the added responsibility of constantly accommodating my needs. Above all, prioritizing personal enjoyment and fulfillment is essential for a satisfying and meaningful life, especially in old age. If elderly individuals become overly focused on self-restraint, constantly denying themselves pleasure and failing to address their own needs, they risk sinking into deeper loneliness and unhappiness. Embracing life's pleasures, pursuing interests, and finding joy in daily activities are fundamental aspects of a fulfilling old age. I have lived alone for many years and have consistently nurtured an optimistic attitude. From my perspective, many older adults tend to place undue pressure on themselves, feeling compelled to achieve perfection or adhere to unrealistic standards. This self-imposed stress can detract from their overall well-being. In contrast, adopting a more relaxed and easygoing approach to life often leads to greater contentment and a richer, more satisfying experience. By allowing oneself to enjoy life and let go of unnecessary pressures, one can truly embrace the fullness of their later years. As we wrap up today's video, we hope you found inspiration in Grandal's incredible journey of independence and joy in her 80s. What key lesson from her story resonated with you the most? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Or comment below with one thing you've learned and how you plan to bring it into your own life. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comments, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more uplifting content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.